Students, in this class, we are going to study the remaining portions of chapter number 4, Values and Data Types. Now, let us see what are punctuators. So, these punctuators are the special symbols used to separate statements. Okay, when you want to separate the statements, we have to use the punctuators. Data elements are marked blocks in Java and is therefore also called separators. So the other name of punctuators is separators. There are 9 punctuators available in Java. They are this: open bracket and close bracket, open curly braces and close curly braces, and open square bracket, close square bracket, semicolon, comma. Okay, so these are called as punctuators and this is called as dot. See, now we are going to see one by one. First one, this open bracket and close bracket. This is a separator used with expressions to increase the priority of an operation. So in mathematics also you studied about it. Any numbers within the bracket will be calculated first. So this separator is used to express the priority of the expressions. Okay. Next one is open curly braces and close curly braces. It is used to mark the beginning and the end of a block. It is we are using this open curly braces and close curly braces in the Java programming mostly. Okay, next one is the square bracket. These are separators used to specify the size of an array in Java. When you are going to learn the array lesson, there in that place we are using this square brackets and open square bracket and close square bracket to specify the size of array. The next one is semicolon. This separator is mostly used to operate among all operators. Okay. In the end of every Java statement, we are going to put this semicolon. The next one is comma separator. It is used to separate various variables. Okay. When we are declaring the variables, this comma is used to separate the variables. Then last one is the dot separator. It is usually used to access member functions of an object that is defined in a class. Next is data types. Data type is a way of dictating Java what type of data will a variable hold. If we are declaring a variable, the variable will hold a value that will the value has different data types. For example, Java uses data types to identify data. A data may be a character. When we are assigning a value, it may be a character, it may be a string, it may be an integer or a floating point number. So in Java, data types are of two types. First one is primitive or fundamental or intrinsic data type. The next one is reference, composite and the extrinsic data type. We are going to see these two types of data types in the coming session. The first one is primitive or fundamental data type. So these data types which form a part of Java are used to represent basic data values. Okay. So Java provides 8 different primitive types. They are byte. Byte means 8 bits. Then short means 16 bits. Integer, int, 32 bits. Long, 64 bits. Float, 32 bits. Double, 64 bits. Character or char, 16 bits. And boolean, 8 bits. Okay, these are primitive or fundamental data types. The next one is reference or composite data type. Reference or composite data types are secondary type of data. It is composed of constructed using primitive data types. These may be a class, array, interface or a string. So in the coming chapters, we will discuss about these data types and its usage. The next one is variables and constants. First of all, we are going to see what is a variable. A variable is a name given to a memory location that can contain a data value. So, for example, int a, that is, a is a variable. It can hold any value and its data type is integer. Any value means any integer value because the data type is integer. If it is float, it can hold only the decimal values. Okay, so here it is declared as int a, means the variable a. In the variable a, we are able to store any integer value. The next one is constant. Constant means fixed value. The constant in Java is used to assign an exact and unchanging value to a variable. Okay, the value will not change, is called a constant. For example, float a. The type of the data type is float. That means the variable a, we are going to store a decimal value. Float means the number with decimal point. So a equal to 45.2. This means the whole program we are using the value of a as 45.2. We cannot able to change the value of a in the entire program. The value is fixed. But in the case of if you write like this INTA, yeah, so inside when you are running the program, you are able to give any integer value, but here the value is fixed, so it is called as a constant. Next one is initialization of variables. See, here one example is there. Int a. A is the variable, its data type is integer. Another one variable we are using here, b. So the initialization is float. So we are going to store any decimal value in this variable b and an integer value without decimal point in the variable a. So these are the values given here. So now we are going to see what is the initialization of variables. In the above example, the variable declaration only represents the name of the memory location. This is the memory one memory location and this is another memory location where data will be stored. If it is required to provide with an initial value to a variable, we go for dynamic initialization. For example, integer a equal to 5 is a statement. 5 is stored in the memory location a initially. Okay, then see this example, int a equal to 5, a value 5, then int b equal to a. Here b is dynamically initialized to a value of a. This is called dynamic initialization. A is equal to 5 and b is also having the same value of a. Thus, whatever is the value of a will be the initial value of b. So this is called as dynamic initialization of variable. Next is variable scope. A variable scope is limited within the block where it is declared. See, for example, here it is a block of statements are here. Int a equal to 1. System dot out dot println of a. This means we are going to print the value of a. This statement is supposed to display 1. Here the program is ending here. The open curly braces and closed curly braces, these are the statements inside the block. So this is the variable scope is within the block only. But see here what it is written as system.out.println of A. So this is a see this statement will result in an error as variable A scope is limited only within the above block. So the scope of the variable is within the block where it is declared. It is not outside that block. Next one is operators. These are special symbols used to evaluate an expression. The table shows 37 different tokens that are used in Java as operators. So this is plus minus. So all the operators are here. Totally 37 operators are here. Next is type conversion. In a mathematical expression, the conversion of data type of the resulting value from one type to another is called type conversion. The resultant data type of an expression can be categorized into two segments. First one is implicit type conversion and the explicit type conversion. We are going to see one by one. The first one is implicit type conversion. So implicit type conversion is an automatic type conversion by the compiler. For example, see the first variable x is an integer variable assigned a value 10. Integer means 4 bytes. The next one is double y. The y variable is double. Double is the what is the meaning of this double? That is also a decimal value. So there is some difference between float and double. Float means for small decimal values, for example 12.003, 13.2. For these numbers we are using the data type as float. Double means if the decimal value is more, that is 0.0000 and 45, the number is going on like this. In that time we will use the data type as double. Okay, so it occupies 8 bytes. So 8 bytes means it is greater than that of the double. It occupies 8 bytes in the memory space. So automatically the compiler will decide. Here it is written as system.out.println of y. Print the value of y. Y value is double. It occupies 8 bytes. It is more than that of the integer, so it will display the result in double, that is 10.0 with decimal value. Okay, so this is called implicit type conversion. The next is explicit type conversion. See, explicit type conversion is also known as typecasting. Is a type conversion by the user. Implicit means the type conversion is by the compiler. Explicit means according to the user can decide in which data type he or she wants the result. Okay. Explicit type conversion, also known as typecasting, is a type conversion by the user. For example, double x is equal to 10.5, that occupies 8 bytes. The next one is integer y equal to x. So it occupies 4 bytes. So we want the result, it will display the result in the double only. But again, double x is equal to 10.5, integer y is equal to integer of x. We want the result in integer. So here we are changing the data type of the variable y as integer. This is called typecasting. The type of the data type is changed by the user. Okay, user is a type conversion by the user. So in this code, 8 bytes double value is narrowed to 4 bytes integer value. So it raises an error. So we explicitly typecast it. Okay. So this is called explicit type. So this one is called as explicit type conversion. This table shows the loss of information under different circumstances. See the circumstances and the loss of information when a double type data is assigned to float type. So loss of precision, the data in the double type variable may be too big to fit in the float type variable. So we cannot able to assign a data type as a float for a double data type variable. So if when a float or double type data is assigned to integer type data, okay, so float and double are having decimal values. If it is assigned as an integer, what loss of information? Loss of digits after the decimal point. You are going to lose the digits after the decimal point, because integer means it is a whole number, no decimal values. Okay. Then next one, bigger integer type to smaller integer type. So the smaller integer type variable may be too small to hold the data. So this is the circumstances and loss of informations. Next one is the last one is type promotion. In a mixed expression, the resultant data type is always converted to the data type of the largest operand. Operand means value. That is called type promotion. Thus, float, if we add one float value plus one double value and one integer value, so integer is having the higher size. So the result will appear in the double type. So this is called as type promotion. So students, this class is ending here and we will continue in the next part.